you can kick us off, James. Thank you.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hiya. Yeah, good, thank you.
Good stuff. What has it been like preparing for and playing in matches amid what's going on in the country at the moment?
I think it's definitely been very different. Obviously, an emotional few days leading up to that first game, and then a bit of uncertainty as to whether we were going to play. But I think we were all really pleased to be able to sort of get out there and just play cricket, and obviously getting the win was very good as well.
It was a big win in that opening game. Do you think it would be a significant step for this side if you were to clinch the series, considering some of the players that are missing at the moment?
Yeah, I think it would be impressive. I think obviously leading into this missing 3 key players for us. It would have been easy for us to sort of go in our shell, I guess, in that first game with a bit less confidence. So I think the way that the girls came out and even just around like in the field, like helping me, with deciding who to bowl and making sure everyone's in the right fielding positions. It just really felt like everyone sort of came together and stood up in a time, where we could have gone the other way. So that was really pleasing.
And on that note, how have you enjoyed the challenge of captaining the side in Heather's absence?
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. I was very nervous. I think for the couple of days leading up to it, it was a lot of thinking, and it's quite hard to switch off. But now having played the first one, I can relax a bit more and know that we can get through a game. And as I said, with the girls helping, it just made it so much easier.
Another side seeing is this is a bit of a chance for revenge after what happened in the Commonwealth Games against India. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's not really something we've actually like revisited ahead of that first game. We just sort of focused on ourselves and what we wanted to do. But obviously there's a lot of disappointment at the end of the Commonwealth Games, and so to come up against India again, I think like you say, it's a great opportunity to for a bit of revenge.
And without the brilliant Nat Sciver during this series, I imagine you as a squad are completely behind her as she looks to focus on protecting her mental health at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, obviously she's one of my closest friends as well as a teammate. So the first couple of days in Durham, she just obviously wasn't herself. So when she did, with the help of our support staff, decide that she shouldn't be there, I think it was almost a relief for me as a friend to know that she was going to go back home and get herself right before she joins back up with us. So definitely the right decision for her, and everyone's right behind her.
And in terms of the matches coming up now, do you see these games as a real opportunity for players to try and stake their claim for that World Cup coming up, the T20 World Cup next year?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously with three players not there, it just provides opportunity for the girls, and I think everyone would absolutely love to be in that side, obviously. So I think it's a great opportunity for everyone to step up and put their name in the hat, I guess.
And finally, for me, I know there's a lot of support within the England setup for the various teams. What have you made of what the England Test side has done this summer, winning their 6th game from 7 this year under Ben Stokes?
Yeah, it's brilliant. All the girls watch those games and keep up to date with it all, and it's just been really inspiring, hasn't it? I think you've seen that from around the country. Everyone has just really gotten behind the guys, and that's the same for us. I think we can definitely take inspiration from the way they're going about it as well. So it's great to see.
That's great, Amy. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, James. Rory, please.
Hi, Amy.
Hiya.
I suspect I know the answer to this one because you won by 9 wickets, but there was some suggestion that the Indian team weren't awfully pleased about conditions. Did you get that sense from them at the toss or before the match that they weren't awfully satisfied?
Yeah, nothing came up pre-game. The umpires got us all in, and well, captains and coaches, and said it's not, we're here to play cricket, and the groundies needed 20 minutes to sort it all out. I think going into the game wasn't aware of any issues, to be honest.
And with the fixtures bleeding into September and stuff, it's going to be the case that if you can get a game of cricket on, I suppose the idea is to try and get as much cricket as you can get and not be too worried about the conditions being imperfect.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I think you'd be waiting a while, wouldn't you, if you're waiting for the perfect conditions in September. And there had been a lot of rain around, but I think by the time, we got quite lucky, didn't we, to for it to stop, a little break for us to. I don't think it stopped raining for the first 3 days when we were in Durham. So it was, quite a nice night in the end. It wasn't too cold either. I think everyone had their water bottles ready, but it wasn't too bad in the end.
If I could ask you about Sarah Glenn as well, Amy, you kind of get a really good view of how she's tracking from behind the stumps, sort of career best figures. And I don't know, she's had a bit of time in and out of the teams, sitting out in the World Cup and stuff. Just how you reckon Sarah's going, and if she might be sort of ready to soar again and hit a real hot streak.
Yeah, definitely. I think Glennie was brilliant the other night, and back to doing what she's done for us many times before. And she's such a hard bowler to face in the nets, obviously with her height, and then it just really skids on. And so it was great to see her do so well. I think she's key for us in the middle. Just the amount of dots she bowls, she just puts so much pressure on the batters, and keeps it nice and tight for us, which is great. I'm really pleased to see she's doing so well. She took some time and worked really hard on her game over the winter. It's great to see her get the rewards in the first one.
And does it just show you? I mean, with Nat missing in the as a batter, does it? You might have been losing a really experienced player there and a bit of a banker, and then Alice walks in at 3 and finishes it off with Sofia. It's all good signs, isn't it, for the ones underneath Nat, really, to pick up that responsibility.
Definitely. I think that was a huge a great example of what we spoke about, having a younger, obviously she batted 3 throughout the Com Games for us, so it's not a new position or anything, but for her to go out and take the responsibility to see it through and get a not out, which is, it was a bit like something that you'd see from Nat. She often is the person to take that responsibility on. So, for Alice to just step up and do it first game without Nat, I think is brilliant. And she's a huge asset to us at the moment.
Nice one. Thanks, Amy.
Cheers.
Thanks, Rory. Valkyrie, please.
Hey, Amy. Can you just sort of talk a little bit about what the mood's been like off the field? It's obviously been a bit of a tough time following Commonwealth Games disappointment, as you mentioned, Nat clearly struggling and making that decision, and you guys without some key players. What's the mood in the camp like?
It's good. It's different. There's obviously a lot more younger players around, and sort of off the back of the 100 coming in, I think everyone's looking forward to seeing each other, to be honest. Obviously going away and playing in our different teams, and then coming back together is always nice. It feels, to be honest, quite like an excitable mood, which is good for September. And I think that's just, there's so much news around, and perhaps even just the extra sort of opportunity and responsibility that's sort of on offer for people to take. I think it's just lifted the spirits, it seems.
And just on that, was the captaincy of the England team sort of something that you'd ever coveted or considered, or did it come as a bit of a shock when you realised that Nat wasn't going to be there? What was your view on that?
It's definitely not something I've been gunning for quietly for a while at all. But when I sort of having chats with Nat, sort of getting an inkling that she might go home, we did have a conversation where we were like, this could be you, ain't me. And it was very daunting. I'd say on the pitch, definitely not something that comes naturally to me. I like to lead off the pitch in my own way, sort of, how I go about things. But when it comes to being vocal and speaking in front of the group or management of the game, all of this it's all pretty new to me. So it's just been, that was one of the most pleasing things about the other night, was just how everyone came together and they know it's not natural for me, but everyone's been really supportive and just helped whenever they can. So it was, I'd go as far to say I enjoyed it, actually.
when you had that conversation with Nat and, you know, it was like, oh, it could be you, and you said you were nervous, did she say anything to you to reassure you, or how did that go?
Yeah, she was being really reassuring. She said I'd do a great job. And Catherine has also messaged me as well, and they're being very supportive, and it felt like they thought I was the right person, which definitely gave me a bit of confidence. So yeah, that was nice.
And just finally from me, and this is one to perhaps look toward the one-dayers with, but looks like Julian Goswami is going to retire after the Lord's game. And as someone who would have played with her, you know, a fair bit over the years, can you sort of describe what she's like as an opponent and any sort of personal anecdotes or memories you have of her career?
Yeah, I think Julian is a phenomenal role model, really. Obviously she's been playing for so long, and she just doesn't seem to have, like, from what I can remember, she just never seems to have a dip in form, to be honest. You just sort of, you know exactly what you're going to get with her, and she's been so consistent over, like, I don't know how many years, but a lot of years, I think. So yeah, it would be a great occasion for her, for her last game to be at Lord's, which would be special for anyone, but to walk away from the game after that sort of occasion is absolutely what she deserves.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Valkyrie. Mohit, please.
Thanks, Hen. Hi, Amy. Congrats on a successful captaincy debut. You spoke about how captaincy probably doesn't come naturally to you, but you had a successful start and you're the first wicketkeeper to captain England in a T20I. So what was it about the on-field role that you enjoyed the most in your first time leading the team?
I think what I enjoyed most was I actually quite liked the sort of having that role gave me a bit more confidence to be a bit more vocal, and like I felt like I was being a lot more assertive than I normally would, and I think things like that is just going to stand me in good stead when, you know, Nat or Heather comes back. I think I've learned I can add to the team more, and having to be decisive is a good thing for me. I think a bit of pressure for that helps, because I can definitely overthink and take my time, so a bit of time pressure wasn't the worst thing.
The other question I wanted to ask you was about Sofia Dunkley. England made a big call to omit Tammy Beaumont before the CWG and push Sofia up to the opener's position. So just wanted to get your thoughts on what you've made of her as an opener in the T20I format so far, especially considering the tough start she had in the last match, but then she went on to stay unbeaten at the end and finish the game for England. Yeah,
I think Dunks has been brilliant. I think even going back to the South Africa series at the start of the summer, obviously her first game's opening, and some of the shots, she hits the ball harder than anyone, I think, and that's obviously what we want at the top of the order, is that sort of intent and fearlessness, and which doesn't come naturally to a lot of us. So to watch her go out and play the way she does is great to see. And I think obviously the other night, to see it home after, like you say, a bit of a tricky start for her, I think will be key, and it's always a great learning, I think, as a young batter, when you have an innings like that, to know that you can get through it if there's a bit of, you know, it's tricky at the start, just hanging in there and then still being there to shake their hands. I think you get a lot of confidence from that, so I think that would be great for Dunks as well.
Thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mohit. Raf, please.
Hi, Amy. You talked about what you enjoyed about the captaincy. What's the hardest thing about it, and what is it about the captaincy? Can you articulate what it is that makes it so daunting as a role?
I think for me it was daunting purely because, well, I've done the 100. I did a year at the 100, obviously, and nothing either side of that. So, you know, it's just one of those, just the unknown, really. I think that's what I was stressing about the most leading up to the game, was just the unknown. Like, what could what can go wrong. It's obviously a lot of responsibility, and with a young side as well, I wasn't sure how like if they would need some of the bowlers, if they would need more help than they did, but everyone just really stepped up, knew their game, and it was a lot more simpler than I thought. I think we were about 6 minutes down at one point, so that was a bit of a stress, and I remember that being a big stress through the 100 as well. But other than that, just worrying about the unknown, which I think is quite a natural feeling. So got a lot of confidence from that game anyway.
And given that you have been enjoying it and kind of taking confidence from that first win, are you likely to sort of throw your hat into the ring to do it for the ODIs as well, or has that conversation been had?
I'm not sure I'll be throwing my hat in the ring. I think the 50 overs is a whole nother ball game. But in saying that, obviously, if they think I'm the right person for it, then it's something I would never turn down. But happy just to focus on the T20s now and think 2 more games left. But as always, would never turn down an opportunity like that. But definitely just a little stand-in.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, everyone. Just to add that Alice Davison-Richards has been added to the Vitality Women's IT20 squad for the rest of this T20 series. You are free to report that now. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.